Hi everyone, we're now having a look at Ger40 and I have the weekly chart open as you guys can see. So in previous videos we had spoken about how we have this very nice M structure over here with the neckline being at around that level. Price broke to the bottom side of that M structure and then went back up to test the neckline, and we can see that the neckline actually failed to hold, but the anticipation was that had the neckline held, we would have looked for selling opportunities at this level and our take profit would have been around here somewhere. And that is because we also have this candlestick over here. It is a bearish candlestick which is carrying a whole lot of liquidity at that point. To add to that, we also had, as I said in the previous videos, this very nice W structure over here, and I've said to you guys that when it comes to W structures, what happens a lot is that a lot of traders and investors buy on that second leg of that W structure and they place their stop losses just below here, right? Meaning that there's a possibility that price from where it is may actually push further down to firstly this level to grab that liquidity off of that candlestick, which is a liquidity candlestick, and number two, this level over here to grab all of those stop losses that are sitting there, and we might see price then push further up, right? Also, we just need to make sure that we monitor the fundamentals that relate to Ger40, because if you actually look at the actual fundamentals, things are not looking good in as far as Ger40 goes, and actually there is scope for price to move further down, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what do we see on this chart? What else do we see on this chart, which is the weekly chart? I don't see anything further, right? Let me just head down to the daily chart. Let's see. So here we are on the daily chart. So what do we see in the daily chart that we should be paying attention to? Let's see. In fact, before we proceed, I'm just going to start off by adding my channel. Just bear with me. Let's see. So there goes the daily channel, right? And we can see that currently there's a third touch on the trend line. There's a third touch on the trend line over here. We had a first touch over here, a second touch over here, and a third touch over here, right? Which tells us that price has to move further down, right? But to what level? Let's continue to analyze this chart and try to determine where exactly price might reach, right? So as much as we have that touch over here, right, just bear in mind that we also have, or rather we had, a W structure over here with a neckline being at this level, more or less, right? Price broke to the upside of that neckline and then went back down to retest it, and we should have looked for buying opportunities at this point, and our take profit I believe should have been at least this level over here, because that is where this W structure actually started. Nonetheless, having said that, due to fundamentals, it is quite possible that as much as the anticipation is for price to end at this point to complete this very nice W structure, price may push further down to this level over here to grab all of those liquidity points, right? So let's proceed. In fact, I'm just gonna add, in fact, no, I'm not gonna add that neckline, it's fine. But I should point out also that we have a very strong level of support at this point, if you look at it, because we had multiple rejections at that area. And what may actually happen is, as much as we have a third rejection here, price may actually reach this point and then bounce off to complete this very nice W structure, right? So we just need to ensure that we are up to speed in terms of the possible outcomes that may actually occur in as far as this instrument is concerned, right? Let's see. So what else do we see on this chart that we should be paying attention to? In fact, I'm just going to add that very important support line. Just bear with me. It's actually not a support line, it's rather a support area. That's the correct term, and that is because support and resistance are not actual lines, as I usually say. They are areas, right? So we can actually say that this entire area right here is an area of support, more or less, right? Anyway, let us proceed. So what else do we see on this chart that we should be paying attention to? Another thing that I see is that we have this candlestick over here. It is a liquidity candlestick, right? And it tells us that the market is carrying a lot of liquidity at this level over here. Similarly, we also have this one, which is a liquidity candlestick as well, which tells us that at this level we have liquidity. However, I think that we will deal with these two areas should price break this current support area. Anyway, let's proceed. So from here, I'm just going to head down to the H4 chart. Just bear with me. All right, here we are on the H4 chart. Let me just fix my lines. There we go. Right, and then I'm just going to add my H4 channel as well. Let's see. How would I add my H4 channel? Just bear with me while I add my H4 channel. There we go. There we go. There goes our H4 channel, more or less. There we go, right? And based on this H4 channel, we can see that price has closed to the side of the channel, meaning that we are no longer in an uptrend in as far as the H4 chart goes. So let's see. So what else do we see on this chart that we should be paying attention to? What else do we see on this chart that we should be paying attention to? So can you guys also see that we had a very nice M structure over here? It's an overextended M structure with a neckline being at this level. The market broke the neckline to the bottom side and went up again to retest the neckline. And normally I would have said we should look for, or we should have looked for selling opportunities at this point, but due to this trend line over here, I think it would have been quite risky to sell at this point. Nonetheless, we can see that price pushed further down, which means that this M structure was stronger than this trend line that we have over here. Nonetheless, I would not have sold at this point due to this trend line, but we can see that price sold, right? And I believe that the market should at least complete this M structure by ending at least this level over here, where this M structure actually started, right? But just also keep in mind that we have a very strong level of support here, and price may push to this level and then possibly push up, right? But nonetheless, I don't think that we should be looking for buying opportunities necessarily at this point, and that is because the H4 chart is currently in a downtrend, right? So do not look for selling opportunities, in my humble opinion, at this point, because as I said, price may push further down to those levels that I spoke about on the daily chart, which are these levels over here, because as I said, we have a W structure over here and a second leg of that W structure there, and that a lot of traders and investors bought on that second leg and placed their stop losses just below here, right? So that is it as far as my analysis of Dax40 goes. I hope it makes sense, and as I said, at this point we should not be looking for any buying opportunities because the market is in a downtrend. but just bear in mind that we also have this level over here, which is a strong support level, and price possibly could bounce off of this area and push further up to around this area over here, just to let me just redraw that. As I said, price may bounce off this area and then go to this level again, just to retest this area before pushing further down, and also to create a very nice huge M structure. And this would also make sense because we also have this candlestick over here. We have this candlestick over here. It is a bullish candlestick with a relatively small body and a long upper wick, which tells us that we have a whole lot of liquidity that's stuck at that point. And yeah, it would make sense for price to actually push further up to this level and then only push further down. So I'm just showing you this so that we have a 360 degree view of what is happening in as far as Dax40 is concerned. So that's my analysis, guys, and peace out.